everybody, welcome back to Big Bang Crypto. My name is Sam and this is the first video after a very long time, and I'm so happy that I'm able to make this video for you guys because the last 6 months were really difficult, as you may know, but I think the bad days are over now and better days will come for me and my family. And I want to say thank you so much for still being a part of our community and for still watching my videos. This was one of the things that gave me the energy to come back. So thank you very much. To everybody who is new to this channel, if you want to be a part of our amazing community, you'll find the Discord link in the description. And guys, if you like this content, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I think the time for a comeback couldn't be better because huge things are happening and there is a lot to come. So I will try to keep this short, but it's not going to be easy. There's a lot of information. You all know about COVID-19, and now maybe the most powerful person in the world has COVID-19, very close to the most important elections in the world. And as you can see right here, US President Donald Trump says he is doing well, but that the next few days will be the real test. Imagine you have to continue your campaign for the most important elections in the world and you're not able to do it, and they're coming next month. This is huge news all over the world. And I think this is part of a bigger plan. And maybe after this video, you will understand why I'm saying this. Before I start, there's one more thing I want to say about Trump. He knows, and you know, that the elections won't be easy for him. A lot of things happened in the past, and in my opinion, it doesn't really look good for Trump. And so he has to do something very special to have a chance for another election. All right, now let's come to the information. I want to start with just a look on the current Bitcoin situation right here. I think that Bitcoin did exactly what I told you guys in my last video. By the way, if you didn't watch that video, I really recommend watching it. I think it's one of the best analysis out there. In that video, I showed you this chart right here. Let's go to the daily. We have this fib circle constellation that I talked about in my last video. There I told you that I think this fib circle is very important for Bitcoin, and the current one started and had an influence back in 2010. After crossing that one, after killing that resistance, we had a huge rally. Now 10 years later, as you can see, we're fighting with that same fib circle again. Because of that fib circle, we have our top out at $20,000 right here. As you can see, we have our top out at $14,000. We have our top out very close to it at $10,500, $600 with a very huge correction. And in my last video, I told you if we're able to kill this resistance, we're going to see a big move. It happened from $9,200 all the way up to $12,500. And now the big question is, what is about to happen? Will we continue this move, or is this a fake breakout, or are we going to see a retest? And so we have to discuss all these scenarios to see which one is the most likely one. If we go back to this bear market starting in December 2013, as you can see, and as you can see, we couldn't stay, or we didn't find support on this fib. We fell below it, we moved to the next fib, didn't find support, and we came down exactly to this fib right here, found support on it, retest again support, and then we moved all the way up back to this previous fib circle. And as you can see, we were fighting with it for a very long time. So this is November 2015, and we were able to break above it in May 2016. But when we broke above it, as you can see, we had a huge move, but then we came back and retested it exactly this point, as you can see. So this is something that could be possible right now. And if you take a look at this move right here, all right, the shape of it, and when we go to the current situation, you can see that there are similarities right now, right? And so a very likely scenario is that we come down to this fib circle and retest it, which would be at $8,200 approximately. Maybe we have a wick down to $7,900, so this is possible, and this is a likely scenario from what we're seeing right now. Also, something that is a sign for this when we go to the details is the way that the 20 moving average, this red line, and the 50 moving average, the blue line, are moving right now. As you can see, the 50 is still declining and the 20 looks like if it's also about to turn around and move back down. From my experience, I can tell you that the way this is looking right now is more bearish than bullish. The only way to kill this right here is to move above the 50 moving average, which means that we have to get above $11,000. Then we can change the direction of these two very important moving averages. There are a lot of important moving averages and exponential moving averages. I'm focusing a lot on the 20, the 50, and the 200 simple moving average because I think these are the most important ones when we talk about the big money investing in an asset. So this is not looking good. I think we're about to come down. Of course, there are some support levels that we have right here. I don't want to talk about all the support levels that I think are important, but the most important one, of course, will be the $10,000 level. And I will show you this on the monthly chart just to know why everybody says that $10,000 is really important. If you take a look at this blue line right here, guys, then what you can see is every time we get above $10,000, we have a big move. But since the first time that we moved above $10,000, we were not able to hold this level. And we fell below it and had big correction afterwards. We have retests here, as you can see, but we fell below them and had big corrections. The next time, so this is the first time in December 2017. Next time is January 2019. We broke above it, but we couldn't stay above it. We fell back below it. And as you can see, as soon as we were not able to get back above it and close above it, so this is important, closing above it. We weren't able after this move above. We fell below it, closed below it, and we had big corrections, like we've seen here. And now again, we were able to break above $10,000. We have a close above it, but as you can see, we are retesting this level because it is a very huge level. And if Bitcoin has a monthly close below $10,000, we have a problem, and we have to, we have to accept the fact that we might see lower levels again. So something that could happen in the next days is that we fall below $10,000 and then we go down and test this fib circle again. And like I said, this could be around $7,900 approximately. And of course, we have some important levels, support levels waiting. Currently, we're hoping to find support on this one. This is just the connection between $20,000 and $15,000. So we're coming here hoping to find support on it. Let's see what happens. So we have 2.5 months approximately above this support here. If this can hold, we're going to move up from here. If we fall below this support, which is at approximately $10,250, if we fall below it, we will see if $10,000 can hold. If not, then we're going down. So please keep these levels in mind: $10,250, $10,000, and then we're going down to, I think, test the 20 moving average on the monthly chart. This is a likely scenario. Also, what I want to show you here is the volume profile. This is important, guys, when it comes to yearly breakouts. So what we have right here is the volume candle. For the first time we got above $10,000. Look at this big green candle here. It's looking good. The next time that we broke above $10,000, we have a much smaller volume candle right here, right? And what happened is we had a big correction. And now look at this candle here. When we broke above $10,000 the last time, this was in July, look what a candle we have. So every time we break above $10,000, the candles are getting smaller on the volume. This is not a good sign. We need a very big green candle compared to at least this green candle if we break above $10,000. All right, because then this really means something and we can expect a monthly rally above this level. And this is not looking good, and I think this is one of the major reasons why we're struggling and why we're not able to really take off here. So this is really important, and so this is one more sign for me that we might fall below $10,000 again and see a bigger correction. All right, now if we go to the daily chart just to take a look at what is going on currently, then before I get into it, guys, this is one of the best charts you can have for Bitcoin. Every important support and resistance level is in this chart, and as you can see, these charts are doing an amazing job. You can ask the people, the subscribers who have access to these charts. I think they're so powerful when it comes to day trading and to understand where we are right now. And as you can see, we are between these two orange lines, trend lines right here. They are huge, they are important, and currently we're finding support on this one. If we fall below this one, and this level is $10,430, it's very likely to come down to test this one. And this could be somewhere around $9,500. If this one can't hold, we know where we're going to, because Bitcoin is always moving from orange line to orange line. It's always the same, as you can see. These orange lines are huge for Bitcoin, and if you want to have access to these charts, then please send me a message in Discord. So what we have right here could be a falling wedge. This is a bullish pattern, so we could see a bullish breakout. This would be good for Bitcoin, and this means we have found support on this line right here, on this one which I just showed you. We also have another line. If we connect $14,000 with $10,500, we also have a line here. If I go to the daily chart, I think it looks a little bit more visible. So this line right here, just connecting these two highs, as you can see, we found support on it right here. We found support and we started taking off. And if we fall below this one and come down to this fib circle, then I think this one could play a role for a first bounce. All right, this doesn't mean that we can't fall below it, but we could see a bounce somewhere in these regions. I'm pretty sure of that, that we will see a bounce. But if this is the real bounce, I don't know. We have to wait and see. All right, so on a daily chart, we have this constellation. If I bring out the moving averages, like I told you, it's not looking good. It's like they're turning around. We have to be very careful. So we could find resistance on this declining trend line and come down to these levels if we fall down. We also have this red line right here, also could play support here. So if we fall below this zone, and then I think it's likely to come down to these levels. Here on this chart, I also have this blue line. It's another trend line that could be important. So just don't want to make it too long, guys. We have a lot of support levels down here. So this one is at $9,700. I think by now you all know that we have a lot of support zones down here in these regions. But I think a retest of the yellow fib circle makes a lot of sense if we don't break above the 50 moving average on the daily chart, which is at approximately $11,000. I have the same on the 4-hourly chart for you guys. Here we can see that we are above the 200 moving average on the 4-hourly chart. It's not looking bad. It's not looking bad. We have the RSI that is really moving up here very nicely. So what you can do here is to make a trend line on the RSI, and if Bitcoin is able to hold this level on the RSI, then we could see further upwards movement. But here on this chart, you could say that this is not a falling wedge. This could also be a falling channel. So maybe we are about to come down and test these lower levels here, which you can see is around $9,000 and brings us to the levels that I just talked about. All right. So this is the short term. You also have access to these to this chart if you want. This is a live 4-hourly chart. Just to show you here, guys, I have a lot of live charts that the subscribers have access to for their trading. All right. Now I want to show you this chart. You also get access to this chart. There again, we have all the support and resistance levels. This is the Brave New Liquid Index for Bitcoin. The daily chart, this chart has 1-day delay, but you have the whole Bitcoin price movement over the last 10 years, and so you have all important support and resistance levels. And this chart is, in my opinion, a must-have for Bitcoin, a must-have. Look at this. This is amazing what this chart is able to give you when it comes to support and resistance levels. All right, let's talk about this chart. Subscribers also have access to this chart. I know this is looking crazy, but I have a video where I explain this to you guys so that you really understand what these lines mean. And everybody who watched that video about this chart, yeah, everybody said that it's just amazing. What I want to show you here is this is not a logarithmic chart. These ones are logarithmic. And what I want to show you here is that we have a connection between $14,000 and $20,000 and $14,000 and Bitcoin, and also $10,200, $300. So we have 3 connections on this chart, and something that is also very likely is to come down and test this level, and this would bring us down to $8,800, $900 approximately. Now, why do I say this is very likely? We have to jump into the DeLorean and go back in time, and what you can see here, guys, is we have the same constellation back in 2013 to 2016, connecting this top right here at $1,170 with all these tops down here. When Bitcoin finally broke out, so we have that huge bear market at that time, as you can see, and then finally Bitcoin broke out, and it's very interesting what Bitcoin did. Bitcoin broke out of this blue trend line and then came back, retested it before it continued this huge move to $20,000, right? As you can see, this is exactly what happened there. Connecting all these points here and Bitcoin coming down, retesting this huge trend line before it continues the upwards movement. And the funny thing about Bitcoin is that it repeats itself over and over again. And so what we have in 2012 is a very similar move, connecting the $32 top with all the lows right here before Bitcoin broke out and moved to $1,000. What you can see is Bitcoin broke out, came down, retest, and then it continued this move. So in Bitcoin's price action history, we have this pattern repeating. And this is where we are right now, guys. This is where we are right now, and it looks like Bitcoin wants to come down and retest at least this level around $8,800. All right, so I hope you get the point. These are all support and resistance levels, but in another way. that I painted them, and these support and resistance levels also repeat again and again. So I found them, but you have to watch that video to understand what this is all about. But I think it's amazing knowledge about Bitcoin. Now, I want to show you something very scary at the end of this video and why I think we are close to a huge correction. If we take a look at the S&P 500, the S&P 500, guys, on a monthly chart, what you can see is that Bitcoin is, the S&P 500 is moving in a rising channel. I don't know if you've ever seen something, rising channel for the S&P 500, but as you can see, this is the channel. And there was one time when the S&P 500 broke above this channel. This is, as you can see, back in 1996, and the S&P 500 fell back below it, couldn't stay above it, and then we had a massive correction, and this was in 2008, our last financial crisis. And now, after all this time, the S&P 500 came back to the upper line of this rising channel, and look what is happening right now. We have a rejection, and it looks like we have the next rejection. Now back to our Mr. Trump. It's not good for the current president if so close to the elections, the markets have a big correction. This is not good, and you can look what happened in history for the current president when we had such a situation, a correction before the elections. And this is what it looks like right now. So this is why I say I think there is a plan behind the COVID news about President Trump. I think that he knows what is about to come, and this could be a way for him to somehow bring chaos. So when he says that he has COVID-19 and he says the real test is coming, what if, he's really sick and then the elections have a problem and they're very close, only 30 days away. I hope you get my point. So this is not looking good. And if there is a big correction, then everybody will say this is because of Trump. He was a bad president and so on. And so we have to get someone new for this position. And Trump knows that, right? If we take a look at the Dow Jones, it's looking really, really similar. It's also moving in a channel, as you can see, in a rising channel. It's also at the top of this channel. We had a big rejection right here. Another one is waiting right now. This is not looking good. And if I show you the RSI, guys, what you can see is that we're making higher highs here, but on the RSI, on the monthly chart, we have a bearish divergence with making lower highs. This is really, really not looking good. And the last time something like that happened, for example, here, as you can see, nearly 10 years ago, as you can see, we're making higher highs at the same time making lower highs on the RSI. Look what happened. We had a big correction, and this could be what we will see in the next days and weeks. If we take a look at, for example, Apple, what we can see there, if we go to the daily charts, what we can see is that the 20 moving average is crossing below the 50 moving average, and this is not good, guys. This is not good, because when something like that happens, as you can see, we have corrections. So if Apple, for example, is not able to get above this point right here and bring these moving averages back in this constellation where the 20 is above the 50, then we have a problem, guys. We could come down to these levels and see a massive correction. Same for Facebook. We have that cross. We closed on Friday very bearish right here, as you can see, right on that cross right here. So this is not looking good. And whenever we had these kind of crosses, look what we got. We have big corrections, guys, right? We have corrections following. So this is really, really not looking good here at all. So this is my opinion when it comes to the current situation. And guys, if we get huge corrections, all right, if we go back to the monthly chart here, or let's take the S&P 500 here, guys, something that could happen is a retest of this lower support line of the rising channel. But this would be a huge, a massive correction, right? And if that happens for this big markets, I tell you Bitcoin will see a big correction as well. And maybe, but this is only just guessing, maybe we see a retest of $1,000 for Bitcoin. Why do I say that? Why do I say that? I try to show it on a chart that is not full of lines. Why do I say there could be a retest of $1,000? If we take a look at what happened after $1,000, guys, where is it? There it is, $1,000. So we moved above $1,000 at this point right here, and this is not so looking good in point as from a retest point of view. So what if we can't hold $10,000? If we fall below $10,000, this is the third time in 2 years that we couldn't stay above $10,000. And what if then it is necessary to retest $1,000? Just think about it. We came down to $3,000, guys. We came down to these levels. What if $1,000 is the next if we see that huge correction that I just talked about? All right. So just think about it for a moment. But of course, the next days and weeks will show us what's going to happen. And what I just showed you doesn't mean that we will have this big correction tomorrow. No, this will take time. But only because Bitcoin makes a $500 move upwards, it doesn't mean that it's over, right? Because the S&P 500, one of the most important ones out there, is at a huge, a massive resistance level right now, all right? We're talking about a resistance level that got built. Look what it is right here, guys. So this is almost what it is, 50 years. 50 years ago, this started to build, and this is huge, guys. This is a huge resistance level, and the only way is to get above this resistance level, to break it, to move to maybe another channel, or to come back down and continue the movement inside of this channel. Think about it. I hope I could give you some other information compared to those that you get on YouTube, so that you have maybe a brighter look on what is going on right now. If you like it, guys, please leave a like, and we'll see us soon. Bye.